Very good afternoon to all of you. We'll wait for people to join. So maybe about 1 or 2 minutes we'll start. A very good afternoon to all of you. So I will share with you one example which recently happened with me actually. So we posted one job and almost like 1,000 people applied for it. And then I decided to start screening for the right candidate. So something very interesting happened. So when I checked with the candidates that which job they have applied for, unfortunately, out of 100, only one or two were knowing that which job they had applied for. So what impression I got about those 98 candidates, I think something which any one of you who will listen to this will also get the same incident, the same kind of impression about those candidates who said that I don't know which job I applied for. So it intrigued me that what should we say? Why they are doing like this? They applied for a job, but they don't know that which job they have applied for. They said that we selected 100 jobs on LinkedIn and applied, clicked. We didn't look at what the job was asking for, what was the salary range, what was the skill set required, or what was the job responsibility in this particular case. So, what should I do? I obviously will not carry forward the discussion any further and say that, okay, this candidate may not be the fit candidate. But this is not the one off incident which have occurred to me. When I talk to people across industry, across different companies, across different organizations, in my own about 20 years plus experience in HR, being part of different campus interview panels, being part of different interview panels. One thing which I have learned over the years is that out of 10, 20 candidates we see, maybe one or two has come prepared for the interviews. But when you go and meet people who are looking for job, they will all say that there is no job in the market. I don't know why I'm not getting selected. So this is an interesting dilemma. So where everybody wants a job, but nobody wants to prepare for the job. Today, I will keep this live session for about 15 minutes, and we'll finish around 2:45, 2:50 kind of a time. So let me first talk about we think about job, what is it which involves in a job? So number one, which comes to my mind, which involves in a job, is the job market, right? So there has to be a job market, there has to be a job, there has to be company or the government organization who is recruiting for certain types of candidates. So that's the first parameter. If that is not there, obviously there will be no job for anybody. But when we look from, at least after industrialization, there is always some organization, there is always some requirement. And when you hear from the organization's perspective, they say that we don't get the right candidates. And when we look from the candidate perspective, they say that nobody is calling me. So it's a very interesting dilemma. Second thing which is important when we think about a job is the what is the skill set you are possessing as a candidate. So while everyone wants a job, but something very interesting happens in the Asian context, Indian context. Everybody wants a job, but nobody wants to get the right skill. They don't even know that what skill is currently selling in the market, which a skill I should have to get myself an opportunity with an organization, whether it's a social sector or the government sector or any kind of commercial organization. So we really do a very little assessment when it comes to my own skill set. So candidate don't know what skill set is selling in the market, and they don't know which skill set they have, and therefore which is what is the gap where they should be preparing for. So we all, if you talk to people who are into organizations working in the corporate sector, one of the very common element which you will hear from people that while you will get the job for some of your skills, but what will get you successful are the two very important elements, and that is your behavior and is your personality, your attitude. And this is what helps you succeed in any job, or also this is what something which gets you out of the job, because your skill set is not only your skill set. In the market there are so many people who have that skill, so there's no guarantee that a particular skill will get you the job. So now one thing which I always say is that while it is important that everybody should look for all those four elements, but now I would like to see that what is it out of these four which is in your control, and that's important. Can you do something about the job market? So possibly the answer is no. In the short run, I can't influence what is in the job market. So that goes out of the picture. So whether there is a lots of job in the market or whether there is a very little job in the market, as a candidate, you cannot do anything about that. So there is no point cribbing that there is less job or the more job in the market. This is not something which you can impact. So stop cribbing, think about what is available, and then how best you fit for what is available. So then there are only three elements which remains on the table: your skill, your behavior, your personality, your attitude. Okay. So if you look at the current scenario, what we see globally, there is opportunity is less than candidates. So, opportunity available in the market is less than the number of candidates in the market. But don't worry about that, because one thing which I have also seen is that out of 100 candidates in the market, hardly 5 or 6 people genuinely prepare for a job. So if you are one of those who are working in these three areas of your skill, your behavior, and your personality, then you have a greater chances of landing a job, because there are 95 people out of 100 who are not preparing enough. So what they do, they go to the job sites like Naukri, Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn, Facebook. So and they keep looking for jobs every day, and every day they will apply in bulk to 100 or 200 jobs, even without looking at what this job is asking for. And what happens as a result? Most of them never get a call from the companies, because they applied without applying their brain that whether they match this requirement or not, whether they have the right skill set, whether they have the right competencies, whether they have the right personality. If you apply without that, obviously you will end up on the wrong side. You will not get a call from any company. So that's one of the most, I will say, worst kind of a strategy which the candidates apply, is that apply to hundreds of the organization. And many HRs do this because they want to avoid Okay, so my apologies. I think my network went down, so I am now live again. I was talking about individuals who are apply in bulk and they never get a call. That's the worst strategy anybody can use. So I also talked about what is in my control. My control is I cannot really impact what is there in the market. I cannot change the number of jobs available. What is in my control is that I work on these three areas of my skills, my behavior, and my personality. If I'm working on these three, I have a greater chances of getting a decent career. Now coming to the skill set which we said, this is 10% of the energy on on preparing for the skill. But when it comes to selection for a particular role, your employers, your managers, they look almost like 70 to 80% on this one. How good you are in terms of personality, your communication, your behavior, your attitude, whether this person will fit into a team, whether this person will have a good relationship with the boss, whether this person will have a good relationship across organizations. And those are the factors which play a larger role in your selection. I'm not trying to say that a skill is not required to be worked upon. This is a hygiene factor. This is a, I will say, your a screening criteria that unless and until you have a skill, you will not even be called for the interview. So that is something which you have to work on. You have to take it as a guarantee that a skill is important for you to get called for the interview. But what will get you selected in the interview is, are you working on your behavior, on your personality, on your communication, on your presence, that how you come across to people. If you are working on those aspects, only then you have a chances of getting selected for the right job. So a skill is not the only thing which is required. That's the entry criteria. What is important is that you work on your behavior, personality, grooming, communication, those aspects. So now the point comes is that how do I prepare for an interview? So today we talked about what is job, what are different elements of a job, what is a good strategy when you apply for a job. Don't apply in bulk. Read through the job description, what is given there, and see that whether you match that profile, then only apply. Because your interviewer can ask that, okay, have you gone through the profile? And if you answer that, no, I don't know what job I applied for, you are out. There itself, your interviewer will reject you. So that's important that read through any job post for which you are applying. Don't blindly apply. And then when you go for interview, when you have got a call, you go for some kind of assessment which your organization is seeking, prepare for that before going there. When you go unprepared in front of any assessor or any interviewer, then obviously you have a very little chance of getting successful. So today I will end my webinar here. In the next session, I will talk about how can you prepare for your interview. So what are the different aspects of interview which you need to prepare for, and how can you prepare? What are the tools available in the market which can help you prepare for the interview in the right manner? So thank you all for joining. Thank you all for giving very good comments here. And this video will be available for all of you on my LinkedIn, my YouTube, as well as the on my Facebook page. So it will be available for all the people to see all the time. So I will end it here. Thank you. Have a good day to everyone.